Now then, Racco, let's you and I talk,
Okay.
Good. What's on your mind?
My hat.
No. Your hat is on your head. What is on your mind?
My skin.
No, that's on your head. What's on your mind?
Oh, I got it. My hair.
Hey, what's happening? What's poppin', everybody? The Detroit Butterfrees coming in hot, and we're gonna give you the inside scoop of how we're going to beat Shoddy and whatever his garbage ass team is. So we're in week 6, and versus Shoddy. This is not a team that he drafted. This is a team that is very comfortable for Mr. Pokeyame MD dropping Draco's kid, and Shoddy is kind of uncomfortable with some of these mons, so I gotta keep this in mind. And as far as building, he's a little bit unconventional compared to like Pokeyame. If I were to face Pokeyame, I'd probably build this team a little bit different, but regardless, I decided there are certain mons that I have on his team that he has no potential answers for, and we're gonna go right into it. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna build around Thunderous, as when team building you want to have a concept of how you're going to win the game. You're gonna have your win condition, and you're going to try to create some sort of mon that just rips your opponent up, and this is Thunderous. So immediately, the speed tier here it's what's called as aggressive speed creeping. So what I'm doing here is I'm not really speed creeping Rapidash or Raichu or those two specific mons, though they can easily do a ton of damage to me. This should actually be Defiant here. I'll kind of go over the reason why, but I just want to go over here what's called aggressive speed creeping. So the thing is that I'm not, now technically I do expect me to outspeed Rapidash and Raichu if he speed creeps the means of something like my Mew and my Kieran Black. So my fastest mon is Thunderous, and then followed up is Mew and Kieran Black. So the Raichu knows that he can't outspeed the Thunderous, so its next speed tier that he wants to speed creep is definitely the Kieran Black. He's definitely going to speed creep Kieran Black, but the next one might be the Mew. So the speed tier Raichu's probably going to hit is probably going to be about 330, right? Same thing with Rapidash. Rapidash has no real means, unless he goes 252, which with a mon like Rapidash, I guess you definitely can do because it's not really used for its bulk, but I'm not worried about nothing. So yeah, we're teaching you a lesson is I'm speed creeping his speed creep essentially with Thunderous. That's kind of how we're gonna do this, and there's hardly any loss with it because even if he does randomly bring 252 Raichu or Rapidash, I have a Scarfer in the back that you'll see later on. And next, we have Defiant here, and what this is going to allow me to do is, because I'm going to have Hazard Stack here, as Hazard Stack is a great number to his team because his only way of removing hazards is his Skarmory. I decided I want to bring Hazard Stack, and I also decided that Thunderous is always a very reliable switch into Skarmory, and if Skarmory decides to go for a defog, that is the reason why I want to go physical, and it's going to just poop on his face, as Prankster does not help me versus anything because I pretty much already outspeed the entirety of his team, and Prankster bulk up does not necessarily help me versus anything. So we're going to find here to get the defogged +2 attack for free, so that's really cool. Coverage here is Thunder Punch. So as far as the EVs go, that's a speed tier, the bulk. After a +1, it just kind of OHKOs everything. like +1 superpower kills Raichu, +1 T-Punch unless he's Walk-On Berry and bulky, takes out the Manaphy, +1 T-Punch takes out Tornadus, etc, etc, etc. So that's the concept here. Thunder Punch, Fly. And so another thing, right? Fly is really good tech because he has the means of Medicham. This outspeeds Medicham guaranteed, and I will be able to one-shot the Medicham with a Stab Fly, so that's really cool. I decided to go to lefties because he's got a lot of defensive mons here, and because I have a lot of bulk, I can take things like a Hurricane from a Tornadus, I can set up a bulk up, and then the next turn get lefties recovery, and you know, just kind of go from there. So that's really cool. He has really no means of beating this Thunderous bar like Scarf Mamoswine, Scarf Tyrantrum maybe, and Max Speed Rapidash, I guess. I don't know, because I didn't appropriately speed creep Rapidash, but yeah, let's keep going. So the next mon that we have is our Kieran Black, and so the reason why I wanted Kieran Black as my next mon is because it's more so not because it pairs phenomenally with Thundurus, it's more so because it's another mon he just doesn't have answers to. So for example, Manaphy, it can, the only 4 options that Manaphy has options to are, as far as coverage moves, if he brings it, it's going to be obviously Tail Glow, but it'll be Tail Glow, water moves, so Scald Surf. I fully expect him to probably bring Psychic over the Ice Beam, because Scald and Ice Beam really get crippled by Volcanion, which he's going to also carry something like HB Rock or Ancient Power or something to hit my 2 water resists, being Kieran Black and Volcanion. But if he does bring Dazzling Gleam is also, well, once again, he needs something to hit the Volcanion, so maybe he'll bring +3 Psychic or whatever, but I can definitely understand him bringing Psychic or Dazzling Gleam, because that will definitely OHKO a bulky Heracross, which is another monstrous threat versus his team. So that's essentially what we're bringing. We're just bringing a bunch of nasty breakers and just really fun stuff versus his team. So with these 2 mons, okay, so let's go over the Kieran Black real quick before we get out of hand. So the only coverage that I need is Dragon Claw and Fusion Bolt, as that hits the entirety of his roster. And I don't really need anything else. The EVs on here allow me to avoid 2-hit KOs from Adamant, Life Orb, Earthquakes from Mamoswine. I can just roost those suckers off. This being bulky, if he's Scarf Tyrantrum, I can live a Head Smash if he's not Adamant. Because I'm Choppleberry, I can live a High Jump Kick after Stealth Rocks with Kieran Black. The Drapion, which can be Dual Dance, which is kind of scary, I guess, because Sword Stance is really strong, I guess. The bulk will allow me to take a hit from the Drapion and then just rebuttal with a Dragon Claw once he's chipped. Toxic's there because I think that's going to be my best way to take down his Porygon, as I can't really do any other, I can't really one-shot it or two-shot the Porygon, so I might as well just get a Toxic off on it, and then Roost being, I can just Roost off versus so much of his team. It's insane because of the bulk. Chopple, once again, will help me versus Super. He's not going to bring Superpower Mamoswine, but if he were to bring that, I do have Choppleberry on here. If he brings maybe a Focus Blast on Tornadus to hit something like a Kabutops, Choppleberry helps me versus Focus Blast. Raichu helps me versus High Jump Kick or Drain Punch. I expected more to bring Drain Punch on Medicham if he brings it. It helps me versus, yeah, those things. So, Low Kick, Rapidash, I guess. But Chople, I felt like was my best item here. I definitely could have had a Z move. I almost originally had Z move electric thing to hit the Skarmory as a Fusion Bolt plus a Z move Fusion Bolt will easily take out the max defense Skarmory, but I decided that I had so much more for the Skarmory that the Chople is going to help me a little bit more versus things like Raichu, Medicham, etc, etc. So the next mon that I have is the Stunfisk. The EVs on here is to allow myself to avoid a 2-hit KO from a Life Orb Surf after Stealth Rocks from the Raichu. The Bulk also helps me versus things like it's my Rock Resist, so Scarf Tyrantrum Head Smash, I can take a hit and then I can just Earth Power it, which will OHKO it after Rocks and Spike, or it'll at least do a ton of damage to the Tyrantrum. So I have Earth Power and Discharge. Just Discharge is going to be doing a ton of damage to the means of Skarmory, and even if he's like max speed F with Roosts, I can maybe eventually get a Discharge Para. I decided to go Discharge over T-Bolt as I rather get two Paras on things, and the extra damage output doesn't necessarily help me, where the chance to paralyze things helps me a little bit more this week. And I can get Pain Splits off. I think recovery on Stunfisk this week is going to be very important. If he brings Raichu, Tyrantrum, or really anything Tornadus, as Stunfisk puts in the finest Rapidash, it could take a single hit from the Medicham and fire off a Discharge Pair maybe, and Static's just a really good ability for his physical type attackers. And the only thing that defensively quote-unquote checks Stunfisk is the means of Tangrowth, which like Tangrowth just literally just auto loses versus my team, where I have a Mega Heracross, Roserade, like my entire roster just absolutely destroys Tangrowth, so he's not bringing Tangrowth, but even if he does, like I have so much for it, it's insane. So the next mon that I have, so we got a cool tech here, right? We have the Chilanberry. So if you notice, with these three mons, I'm going to start going over some of the weaknesses to my team, being the biggest weakness right now, what I need Mew for is the Mega Medicham. So the Mega Medicham can 2-hit KO defensive Mew with Double Edge if he makes the prediction. I don't have a normal resist, and what the Chilanberry will allow me to do is actually potentially take 2 double edges if he's, depending if he's adamant or jolly. I'm actually max speed, so what this is going to allow me to do is outspeed things that usually I wouldn't outspeed. So because I'm max speed, I can speed tie with the Manaphy, which I don't expect Manaphy to go 252 speed. I expect Manaphy to just speed proof the Kyurem Black. So I can get a really fast Super Fang on Manaphy on that, so I can revenge it with literally anything on my team. So that's going to be really good. I can get the outspeed on things like the Drapion. I can get, most importantly though, the outspeed on the Mega Medicham. I don't really expect, once again, I don't expect Mega Medicham to go 252 speed Jolly, but if he does, at worst, he can't one-shot me. I have the Chilanberry, and I can just Will-O-Wisp it and burn it and put that thing on a timer and then just roost off double edges and kind of go from there. Super Fang, I don't think, yeah, he doesn't have a ghost type, Barsavali. So Super Fang, once again, it's free. Taunt's gonna help me versus things like the Skarmory. Skarmory, if it's max defense, can be a little bit annoying because it might be able to check my Heracross and check my Kyurem Black if it's counter. So I gotta kind of keep that in mind. Taunting also helps if I need to taunt the Drapion, if I need to taunt the Porygon from it going for recover. I can taunt the Manaphy potentially if I get the outspeed on it to prevent it to go from Tail Glow. and just taunt's just a really good option in general. So that's really cool for me. So right now I have checks to Tornadus being my Stun Fist. My Mammoth Swine switch in is the Kieran Black. Silvally is, I just gotta play around Silvally. You can't really necessarily prep for Silvally other than just getting outspeeds on it, and which I do, being my Mew and Thundurus. So that's, I guess, how I deal with Silvally, and then just, I don't know, just figuring out what it is. Tangrowth, literally everything on my team beats it except for Stunfisk. Drapion, I have the means of Kieran Black and Stunfisk. Porygon 2 is a little bit annoying to this team. I can potentially beat it 1v1 with, if I get a Toxic on it, if I Super Fang taunt it with my Mew, that will beat it. I can Superpower, but my main means of getting taking advantage of Porygon 2 is my Mega Heracross, as unless he has HP Flying, Porygon 2 cannot break my sub. So I literally just click close combat versus team. Like, he's so freaking weak to Mega Heracross, it's not even funny. So the only attack that I need on this, I could have got in a lot more bulk on my Mega Heracross to deal better with like Drapion, Mammoth Swine, and stuff like that. But like, I don't think that's necessary. And with 212 in attack, this allows me to 2-hit KO any variant of Skarmory, and I could potentially one-shot the I can potentially one-shot the Manaphy after Stealth Rocks with Pin Missiles, and with all this attack, I just potentially just get one-shots or, you know, 2 shots on everything, as that's what Mega Heracross does. So close combat, that's gonna be my general thing I'm gonna be clicking most. Pin Missile is gonna help me versus the Mega Metasham, and what else? I think that's it. And then Rock Blast for Tornadus. And then sub is, I can get a substitute off versus the means of the Porygon, and if I get a sub, then I'm probably just gonna get 2 kills, and it's gonna get really scary for him really fast. Speed creep, just I'll just put a little bit of speed in there just in case he wants to try to speed creep a little bit with the Skarmory, and threatens me with a Brave Bird. If I can maybe scout his spread, I can see how much speed he's got on the Skarmory, and kind of just go from there, because that's really the only thing that I really need speed for. To creep is like no speed or speed creeping Tyrantrum, I guess, but more importantly the Skarmory that wants to try to speed creep the Mega Hera. So I thought that was kind of important. Just throw a little bit of speed in there. And then the last thing that I have on my roster of 6 team versus Shoddy is the Roserade, as I can use this thing as a couple different things, being a late game sweeper with Choice Scarf, Sludge Bomb, or I can use it to just start off the game with spikes and just pressure his team. Like, if he brings like Porygon or somewhat passive things, I can switch into it and just start spike stacking him. And even if he does bring Defog, I can punish the Defog with Thundurus, and the majority of his team is grounded, and the spikes just really pressure his team. So yeah, the coverage on here, Sludge Bomb, Leaf Storm, and HP Electric is really good versus him, because HP Electric hits his 2 flying types, Skarmory and Tornadus, that usually would switch into the means of Roserade, and it's pretty much a Thunderbolt because I'm Technician. Leaf Storm one-shots Manaphy, unless he's the Grass Berry, which there's no way he's going to bring Grass Berry when I have so much Electric Stab. He's going to bring Electric Stab over, he's going to bring Walk-On Berry before the Grass Berry, Rosella Berry, or whatever it is. Or he's going to be a Z-move or whatever. But yeah, I can pretty much check the mana feed. Like, mana feed can't sweep me because I got Thunderous, and even if it's Walk-on-Berry, I also have Roserade, so it's a really fun time. Some of the bigger threats, I guess, versus me is, I'm not really sure. Dual Dance Drapion is kind of scary. Tyrantrum, if he predicts my Stunfisk and goes for Earthquake, that can be a little scary. Mega Medicham, I guess, if he can play around my Mew perfectly, he can take advantage of that. But I'm really confident in this matchup, and the whole name of the game here is to get up hazards and late game sweep with Thunderous or Roserade. So let's see how it really goes in the game. You never really know how it's going to turn out, because for all I know, he's going to bring a Life Orb Trick Room, freaking Porygon 2. He's kind of wild, so I guess that will be fun. I'm really excited for the match, Shoddy, and yeah, let's see how we do. So stay tuned for the match. I'm signing out, guys. Peace.